Well, I see President Trump has been running around pardoning a lot of people. Usually people, standout people, not the common man. But we're going to talk about ex post facto laws, and something that really needs to be, if anybody needs pardoned, there's a lot of people in this country that got caught up underneath that so-called 1996 domestic violence law. And why I brought this thing up about the ex post facto law is because they passed this after the fact. That's what an ex post facto law is. You can pass a law after the fact and lump all these people in there, and it messes up their constitutional rights. The Constitution was written for everybody. Not just for certain people. The Constitution and its laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuant thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary withstanding. That's Article 6. Now we've been slacking here. Over the last 30 years or so, laws concerning firearms have become a matter of public policy with no regard to the constitutional elements involved. Why aren't more Americans challenging these federal laws? Well, because the people of the nation, they have an intimate understanding that the federal judiciary is corrupt and will not honor the Constitution when required to do so. And they've changed laws. They're not willing to challenge the federal firearm laws because in the last 40 years or so, laws have been written in an ever-increasing deceptive manner. Even laws that were clear when originally enacted have been amended over the last 40 years to remove the specifically of the law that rendered them more vague and even more prone to flexibility and interpretations by cooperative judges. Ironically, this has been done under the guise of making these laws more clear. You see where I'm coming from, people? So anyway, back in 1996, thanks to Luttenberg, they passed this law. I might have to zoom this in. Okay, this is possession of firearms after conviction of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence, 18 U.S.C. 922 G9. But also, if you look up the Constitution, Article 1, you're not allowed to have no bill of attainder or ex post facto law can be passed. And that's what these idiots did. Now, Representative Bob Barr from Georgia tried to tell them of this, and they wouldn't listen. As of September 30th, 1996, it is illegal to possess a firearm after a conviction of a misdemeanor crime of domestic violence. There's no such thing as domestic violence before that. You didn't get charged with that. It wasn't no felony. Only felons, apparently they can't have firearms, but these guys got stuck underneath this big umbrella of law. Okay, let's see. Yeah. Anyway, anything that conflicts with the Constitution or contrary to the Constitution is null and void. You cannot pass a law after the fact and then lump everybody in it. That'd be like Joe Biden was chewing gum in kindergarten, so he can't collect money from being the vice president. Same thing. Same thing. Okay, well, let's get over here to this other. Okay. Date of previous conviction. I'm going to do this way. Okay. The prohibition applies to persons convicted of such misdemeanor at any time, even if the conviction occurred prior to the new law's effective date of September 30th, 1996. And what they're saying, they're denying ex post facto laws. You know, and if something, any law that conflicts with the Constitution is null and void, people. Period. There's no if, no ands, no buts. Well, we got these nitwits in Congress, Democrats. They're wanting to get this amnesty thing going for all these poor immigrants. Well, I'm going to tell you what. Nothing's going to get done until the American public is void of these unconstitutional laws. Now, they've passed 7 amnesties by Congress since 1986. Right there. Immigration reform. Another one, 1994. They pardon more. Then they give them an extension in 94. Another one. Here's one in 97. The Haitian refugee immigrant thing, 1998. Late amnesty, another one in 2000. Okay. And then a Life Act amnesty, another reinstatement for, okay, another 900,000. Now, if President Trump wants to do something right and set this law correctly, that he will pardon everybody before the September 30th, 1996 law. Anyone that was charged with anything before that will now be able to go and buy a firearm or own one. Because this is a bunch of crap. This domestic violence law, all it does is you're killing manhood. This was put into place not to protect the women or anything like that. That's a bunch of hogwash. Laws, written laws on paper don't protect anybody. And they don't need more tools. They've had enough tools. You better know something about the Constitution. Like I said, they haven't been sticking with the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land, and any statute to be valued must be in agreement. It is impossible for a law which violates the Constitution to be valid. All laws which are repugnant to the Constitution are null and void. Where rights are secured by the Constitution, which we have a contract, check out the Second Amendment. Where rights are secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rule making or legislation which would abrogate them. Okay? An unconstitutional act is not a law. It confers no rights, it imposes no duties, affords no protection, it creates no office, and it is in legal contemplation and like it had never been passed. The general rule is that an unconstitutional statute which having the form and name of law in reality is no law, but is wholly void and ineffective for any purpose, since unconstitutional dates from the time of its enactment and not merely from the date of the decision so branding it. No one is bound to obey an unconstitutional law, and no courts are bound to enforce it. So, President Trump, you want to do something good for America? You pardon all these people that have been sucked up in this the misdemeanor of crime of domestic violence. I've seen so many people. I've had some of my cop friends get caught up on this because their wife was screwing around on them, and they were trying to talk about it. The woman slapped him. He pushed the woman down on the couch, and bingo, he's no longer allowed to be a policeman because he's not allowed to carry a firearm anymore. And this was in 1980, and they passed this law in September 30th, 1996, 16 years after the fact. And all this time before, he was allowed to carry a gun or go buy guns or do anything like that. Because like I said, this is an unjust law. Pardon them. Overlook all these other people that are looking for pardons out there, you know, trying to look good. Pardon the people of the United States of America. Thank you.